Hi everyone, welcome back to Real Life Gaze. We are on episode 13. So as always, thank you to everyone who's been watching all of our episodes, or if you're just joining us, welcome. My name is Gareth and I'm joined by the lovely Rhys and Lee. Rhys, how are you?
Hi, I'm good, thank you very much. Are you okay?
I'm very good, thank you. And Lee?
I'm very well, thank you. Glad you're both okay.
And what's everyone been up to? Lee, tell us your news. Rhys?
Not my news.
Did I just say Lee?
Yeah.
Oh God. Lee doesn't have any news. Rhys, what's your news?
I'm boring.
Well, as you can tell, so my screen might be a little bit different because I'm on my phone, because I've packed my laptop in my suitcase because I'm moving back to England.
Woohoo! When?
So, Thursday next week.
Which means, hopefully, before the year ends, we will all meet. That is the plan.
Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed, yes. And Lee, what do you have any news? What's been happening in Lee's world? Sorry.
Nothing really, just working hard. I saw family today, which was lovely, that I haven't seen possibly since January. We did social distancing. Weather was lovely and sunny, so that was lovely. So we had like a little gathering. Social distance gathering. Very nice.
Very good. So yeah, as always, thank you everyone who has been watching us. If you would like to get in touch with us, please do via our email address, which is reallifegaze@yahoo.com, or you can use our socials, Instagram, Facebook and Twitter at Real Life Gaze. We also have, as always, our little plug for our RLG mugs. We've sold quite a few, and I know I've not done...
Don't forget to pack it.
So these are available for £12. We also have t-shirts, but I'm not going to be posting them yet until I get everything sorted. So they are in process, so please be patient. But for this week's episode, we are going to talk about LGBTQ+ and how they are represented within TV and film throughout the years. So I'm going to ask you, I've got some notes because I've done some research, because I've already had stuff in my head, because I did like a little topic or an essay about this whilst I was at university, because I did a film degree, waste of time, at university. And I talked about how certain groups are represented within the media. So I was talking about, certain racial groups or, gays, and, brought up some of my studies. So first thing I'm going to ask both of you guys is name the first gay movie that comes into your head. Rhys.
Brokeback Mountain.
Brokeback Mountain. Lee.
Oh, Priscilla. Queen of the Desert.
Okay. And what's the oldest movie you can think of with a gay character? Rhys.
That's a tricky one. The oldest movie I can think of with a gay character.
Yeah.
I think Priscilla was like 80s, I think. I can't remember.
You can't really think of any, can you?
Yeah, you got Mannequin. Has everyone ever seen that film Mannequin with Kim Cattrall?
Kim Cattrall.
And the window decorator guy, he was gay. I think that might be the oldest one I can think of. Yeah.
Mannequin.
Yeah.
Probably something like Rocky Horror, or that's probably like the 70s, I think it was, late 80s, early 80s, late 70s.
Right, yeah.
Okay.
So I'm going to read, when I was doing my research, I found this really good article. So I'm going to read quite a lot from it because I think it sums up kind of my own thoughts of it, and you can tell me what you think after. So, many controversies over Hollywood's negative depictions of homosexuality have focused on how such portrayals marginalise and silence queer people. So in his book, The Celluloid Closet, Vito Russo analyses the representation of gays and lesbians in Hollywood films from the 1890s to the 1980s, and argues that Hollywood's portrayal of lesbian and gay men has often been cruel and homophobic. During that period, gay and lesbian characters were defined by their sexual orientation and lacked any complex character development. In Hollywood's early years, from the 1890s to the 1930s, homosexuality was often presented as an object of ridicule and laughter. The archetype of the sissy, foppish and feminine males, often of delicate sensibilities, was popular at this time, and Russo asserts that such a character was a source of amusement and reassurance for the audience. The sissy was not a threatening representation of homosexuality, because he occupied a middle ground between masculinity and femininity. So, do you understand where that's coming from? Like when you think about it, like if you were to ask your grandparents about how homosexuality was represented during the movies that you were brought up with, they would probably agree with everything that said.
Yeah.
From the 1930s to the 1950s, religious and women's groups criticised Hollywood films for contributing to immorality. As a result, the industry introduced the Hays Code, a system of self-censorship that, among other things, affected the portrayal of homosexuality. During these years, films could not feature overtly homosexual characters, so homosexuality was coded into a character's mannerisms and behaviours. So, I don't even think in the Mannequin film, now correct me if I'm wrong, the guy says he's gay. You just know it through his mannerisms, so it's assumed that he's gay. And that's how a lot of people got away with having gay characters within those kind of movies, because they weren't openly screaming that they're gay. It was just assumed because of their mannerisms and their behaviours. Make sense?
Yes.
So this strict code was loosened in the 1960s and 1970s, which also saw the dawn of the women's and gay rights movements. While gays and lesbians were becoming more visible and vocal in the public, their representations in films was becoming increasingly homophobic. At this time, gay characters were often represented as being dangerous, violent, predatory, or suicidal, such as in the films The Children's Hour in 1961, The Boys in the Band in 1970, Midnight Express 1978, and Vanishing Point 1971. And we spoke about that in the past as well, about even when you're speaking about your nan when she asked us that question a few episodes back. That's why, because that's how they were portrayed in the movies that they were watching. If people didn't know any gays, that's the kind of gays that they were seeing forced down their throat. Since the 1990s, Hollywood has improved its portrayal of gay and lesbian characters. The popularity of films such as The Birdcage, Philadelphia, To Wong Fu, Thanks for Everything, Julie Newmar, Flawless, and In and Out demonstrate that audiences can and do enjoy films with gay and lesbian characters. Despite these advances, however, the industry is still cautious in its portrayals of gay themes, characters, and experiences. With Hollywood films designed to appeal to as large an audience as possible, producers fear that focusing on gay and lesbian themes may risk offending a significant portion of the audience, not to mention potential investors. That all changed in 2005 with what movie, Rhys?
Brokeback Mountain.
Brokeback Mountain. So, in 2005, Brokeback Mountain grossed over $178 million, proving that movies portraying queer people could be lucrative for large studios. However, that said, the film received mixed reactions from within our own community on the grounds that a movie about straight acting gay men who barely have sex and they cannot even accept their own desires was hardly a gay movie at all, and it didn't portray them a positive light. So I'm going to stop there because I want to know your thoughts on Brokeback Mountain.
But firstly, I have to disagree with that last statement. I think I thought it was an amazing film. It's one of my favourites. I'm kind of glad that there's not actually a big sex scene, because a lot of the time when people think of gay people, they just think of sex maniac men who just all they want to do is have sex. And I actually think it's quite nice to have a real romantic story, because to me, Brokeback Mountain was quite a romantic story, and I think it's the only film I can actually think of that is a romantic type of story. It's like two couples that can't be together, obviously. I'm not going to explain the whole movie. But I was watching a film today, and it was a romance. It was a comedy romance. And I was sitting there watching it thinking, there's no gay films like this where it's just a gay couple, doing what staples do with films, and I'd really love to see something like that. And I think Brokeback Mountain is the closest thing to it. I am going to compare it though to Call Me by Your Name. If anyone's seen that,
Yeah.
That was also the same for me. The whole film, I was kind of watching that thinking, okay, it's okay. But then they did the same thing that they did with Brokeback Mountain when it came to the sex scene. The camera pans away and you see nothing. So in my mind, I'm obviously thinking this is Hollywood's way of saying that we're not there yet. We're not that ready, like we are with straight couples. Like obviously we see sex scenes about straight people all the time, which is fine. But at least there's films being made now, I think.
Yeah.
That's my opinion. It's one of my favourite films anyway, so I'm happy with it.
Lee, please tell me you've seen it.
I have seen them both, yeah. I haven't seen them both for a while, but I do understand. Yeah, so it's a bit like Romeo and Juliet, isn't it? Like the forbidden love, and then they go away and do what they're doing, and it's not just literally just sex. They have like a tender moment, and they are drunk and everything else, but then they keep going back to that point, and there's a sad bit at the end, obviously. And that's that's the sad bit, isn't it? He got beat up because he was gay. Was that the one? Yeah.
But could you see where the concerns were within the gay community about the movie?
Yeah, because it's not the stereotypical gay straight movie. Like Rhys was saying, it's not like, I don't know, like say Harry Met Sally type, to a man and a woman, and you see everything and you do everything and everything else, and then two men or two women doing it, because they probably thought that it wouldn't get as much money, attention. But then maybe some gay people could be on the fence. They'd be like, "Oh no, it wasn't enough." Some people are like, "Oh no, it was too much."
I mean, there could be one way to think of it is maybe Hollywood thought, instead of focusing on the gay sex, let's focus on gay love. That's probably one way to look at it. So instead of actually filming a sex scene, you knew what was happening, you could hear the noises, there was enough going on to know what was happening.
Yeah.
And in my opinion, there were bits that I actually thought were quite graphic for a Hollywood film when it came to gay sex, especially because it had never been done before. I mean, the spitting on the hand, I was a bit like, oh, we all know what's going on there.
So if anyone's not watched it, it is a tragic kind of love story that I would recommend watching it. I enjoyed watching it, but when I was reading about it all those years ago when I was at university, I looked at it a different way, and I was like, oh, I never thought about it in that way. It was just so groundbreaking that these two massive Hollywood actors were playing a gay character and reaching the masses, and it paved the way to new movies. Like I've said, since Brokeback Mountain, we have moved forward quite a lot. I mean, you've had other movies such as 2008's Milk. You've had 2014, one of my favourite movie, Pride. You've had Call Me by Your Name, which you've mentioned, and Love, Simon.
Love that.
All received amazing response and success in the box office, some more than others. But they all kind of have a similar theme, that it's all about the kind of backlash and the difficulties that gay people have accepting themselves. We've yet to, a couple of the movies like Love, Simon, for example, touch on it a little bit, that being gay is normal in high school life, but there is still that, the whole, kind of focus is on him coming out and finding out he's gay. It would just be nice to have a Hollywood movie, rom-com, with just two guys. And it's not really being done to the masses. There's lots of movies on Netflix and other platforms like Prime and stuff that do it, but they don't reach the Hollywood blockbuster audience because it's still not really wanted.
It's very true. I mean, one of my actual favourite films is Gay Best Friend. It's GBF. Have you ever seen that?
Yeah.
And it's a rom-com. It's a romantic comedy, and it's an amazing film, but it's not massively popular. But again, I think the actor who played the gay guy was straight. That doesn't really bother me, I don't think. I mean, gay guys.
It bothers a lot of people. It bothers a lot of people.
Does it bother you?
Yes and no, because at the same time, if someone was to say to me I couldn't play a straight character, I would be like, how dare you? I can be both. But at the same time, you also think there's so many amazing gay actors out there. Why are they not getting to play the role? It's not like we're not in the masses. There are talented gay actors out there. Why would you not use one of them?
It could be down to the audition. So do you think, so say two guys do an audition, one of them nails it, perfect, the other one isn't that good, but the other one that isn't that good is gay, and it's for a gay character, who would you give it to?
I would like that to be the reason. If someone said, that gay guy, we didn't ask them their sexuality, that wasn't important, that guy was just better at the role, great. If that was happening, great. Do I think it's happening? No, because the majority of these people they're trying to appeal to are young women or girls that they want to fancy the lead role or the character that's playing gay. And when they find out he's really gay, it puts them off because it means that for some reason they're not attainable, because they were more attainable before. So that's the way a lot of these, not all of them, but a lot of blockbuster producers and directors and film creators think of, is, that character can play gay, but let's not get a real gay guy because there's not a mass audience to.
Yeah. I mean, Heath Ledger and Jake Gyllenhaal, and they're both straight. Well,
what year did that come out?
2005.
2005, yeah. So, I mean, what I've also said is we have slowly moved away from the stereotypical gay characters and started showing more gay life in relationships that actually reflect real gay life today. But I think you would agree that there's still a long way to go within Hollywood to get to a point where we're represented equally.
Well, not just in Hollywood. I was thinking of like the old movies. So you get like the camp character, like the Carry On films, like Kenneth Williams. He was gay in real life, but obviously he had a lot of his own issues and everything else. But he was like the camp. A few of them were like the camp characters, and there's always been like, say, Are You Being Served? There was the camp. What's his name? I can't remember his name in it. Anyway, Are You Being Served? 80s sitcom thing in a department store, and it was a camp character. So there's never maybe.
We're going to talk about the TV, but it's very similar to TV. Is very similar to the movies. The gay characters were there for humour. They were put in to usually support this straight lead. To like what the movies back in the older days did. They were there to be ridiculed and laughed at. And
like say Mannequin, he was like the supporting one to the main guy, and
he was the funny one because that's what gay guys were. We were just wearing pink, screaming homos who are just there to make everyone giggle. That's not true. There are still, don't get me wrong, there's still lots of gay guys out there who are like that, and there's nothing wrong with it. But when it's one-dimensional and it's always how they were portrayed, even to this day, there's still movies come out with the stereotypical gay. That's fine, but just have another one that show us all in all colours. We're not just all one.
Pinky Boobs as well. That was another one.
They're all.
Yes.
I mean, I loved Pride. Loved Pride. Did you just watch Pride?
Yes, I love that film.
Love it because it was a true story as well. If anyone hasn't seen Pride, watch it. It was a BBC film, and it was just an incredible movie because it told the real story of the miners, these massive, rich men, these gay guys coming in and trying to support them because it was during the whole mining strike. And the two of them, two polar opposites, come together and then create friendships and realised that just because they were gay didn't mean that they wanted to have sex with you.
Very good film. It's very educational as well, and I think the fact that it is a true story makes it so much better.
Very serious, very educational, and very funny. I was crying at some points in it.
I do think
really good movies out there that you'll still get people, and I'm sure there's people still in our friendship groups and families who will say, without realising they are being homophobic, I don't have a problem with gay people, but don't want to see it. Why would I want to watch that movie when there's two gay guys kissing? I don't want to watch that movie if it's all about, you know, lesbians or gays or whatever making out. Not interested. I just don't want to see it. And you're like, that is homophobic. That's exactly the definition of homophobia. You're just like, you can't say that. I'm not homophobic, but no.
Yeah, that's the thing. The minute you say, but I'm not homophobic, but I'm not a racist, but you're basically saying you are.
Yes. So
I do think that TV is ahead of the time more than Hollywood is.
Yeah.
Yes. When you look back at the portrayals of gays and lesbians on TV, they were a lot more positive back in the 70s and 80s than film were, because it was, although it was riskier for TV producers to introduce gay characters because of the longevity of their shows, you know, movies are in it for the quick money. You know, the big blockbusters that spend millions to make triple millions, and they weren't willing to do it. Whereas TV shows, because of, you know, the longevity and they had kind of fans there already, they could take more of a risk. Which brings us on to TV. So I'm going to say a list of TV shows, and I want you to tell me what they all have in common. Okay? The OC, One Tree Hill, Buffy the Vampire Slayer, Grey's Anatomy, and Friends. There are others, but those are just the top ones that I thought most people would have heard of. What do they all have in common?
They're American.
They're American, okay. They are all American, correct?
Are they on the ABC network? No.
They have female lead characters.
Lovely. We're thinking of the topic lead.
I know.
On the ABC network.
I was looking at different networks and how they portray gay people.
They all have female lead characters.
They also do, yeah. I'll tell you. They all had lesbian characters and no gay characters. Main roles only, okay? But I must stress, so the Grey's Anatomy, though, it took to season 15 to have its first gay male lead character, whereas its first lesbian character was in 2008, so 10 years before that. 2018, it gave its first main character. You know, there's lots of main characters in Grey's Anatomy if you don't watch it. The first male gay character was 2018, 10 years after their first lesbian character. And the same if you look at the OC, you've got a main lead, you know, decides that she might be a lesbian, so you know, some lesbian action, but she realises that she's actually straight. Same in One Tree Hill, we had a woman come out as a lesbian. Buffy the Vampire Slayer, you know, one of the first kind of huge lesbian icons was, you know, Willow and Tara. If you don't watch Buffy again, main characters, two of them became, you know, lesbians, and they were hugely successful. Grey's Anatomy, I've already said, and Friends, because in Friends there were pretty much no gay characters, but Ross's ex-wife, Carol, and Susan were lesbians, and it was spoke about through the whole 10 years of Friends. Lesbians, you know, they're lesbians, but there's hardly ever any mention of a gay character. And if it was, as much as I love Friends, there was a lot of things about Friends, even when I watched them back, going, oh, that's quite bad and it's quite offensive. When they speak about stereotypes of a gay guy, without actually being quite blunt about it, it's subtle hints there, you know, men should be men. And I think when I've been reading all about why they did it, it was just so much easier to implement a lesbian character, because you would keep your female audience happy, because the males were still available and they were still hot and they were still going to be attainable and desirable, and you kept your male audiences happy, because who doesn't love seeing two hot women make out? And like you said way back in the Pride episode, it wasn't illegal anywhere, I'm sure it is in some places, to be a lesbian, only gay. So all these television producers thought, we need to be equal here, we need to be diverse, let's make this character a lesbian. And let's make it, you know, either a big feature or not really that big a deal. but they never once, until, like I've said, Grey's Anatomy have gone with the times. And I think maybe if all these shows were still in production, they might have gone with the times because it's less risky.
I think they would have, yeah.
It's just so much easier for them to have two women because they weren't going to risk the controversy surrounding having two gay men. Is there any others that you can think of as an example?
So, what was the first? Was it Will and Grace? Was the first actual show with a gay man play? Well, he was straight, but as a gay man character.
In a sitcom, an American sitcom, as in focusing on gay. I've got an issue with Will and Grace as well. Even Will and Grace is iconic, right? They never really focused on gay relationships or gay life. They focused on the straight friends. You know, you never really seen any of them kissing, really, or it was.
That's actually really true.
You know, you've got the straight acting gay guy there to appease some people, and you've got the camp one who was there to make everyone laugh. But they were pretty much orientated or centered around their straight female, best friends. And then there's a lot of people that are like, yeah, you're right. Until other shows came about, they did it in such a subtle way that you would never really offend the straight community or the homophobic people. They could still watch it and enjoy it because they're not having to see anything icky. You know what I mean?
That's really true, because I think with Will and Grace, I mean, not when they rebooted it, but the last series, it took them the whole series, right to the very end, for Will to actually get a relationship and a child. This was before the reboot.
Yeah.
So they took that many years. I can't remember how many seasons it was. I think it was.
That's like normal life.
But you don't realise that when you're watching it. You're just like, oh my god, it's a show with a gay guy, yay! But now that you've said that, I sit there and think, hang on a minute. Yeah, it took them 7 years for him to actually find a relationship.
Yeah.
And for it to be actually filmed, and he gets a kid and all that stuff that's now actually allowed to happen. Never thought of that.
It's safe, and I get that it's not. It's Will and Grace. She is one of the main lead roles. So I get it. It has to be a balance. But they had so many opportunities within, the sitcom when, two gay guys are heavily, they're focused on to take risks and be a bit more groundbreaking than they actually were. They played it safe. And I get why they did it. It was just a shame, and it didn't do us any favors.
I agree with that.
The first soap opera I learned, I used to think the first same-sex kiss was in Brookside, the UK soap opera Brookside, in 1994 was the first same-sex kiss, and it wasn't. Did you know it was in EastEnders? Tell you.
See, someone said that to me, but I didn't think it was.
It was 1989, right? The first gay kiss in the UK was by two male characters in the soap called EastEnders, which is the UK British soap opera, in 1989. And it was branded by the Sun newspaper, which is a British newspaper, as a love scene between yuppie poofs. And it was watched by over 20 million people, and it was a cause of huge controversy. And the actor, I can't remember his name, Colin or something, the actor who played him was one of the co-founders of Stonewall. And he's a huge advocate for gay rights, even to this day. I think 30 years later, he went back to EastEnders, but he still talks about it to this day, that, he's really scared to do it. And obviously, he got a lot of abuse about it. There was campaigns made against him, trying to get him sacked. He spoke about there was one time that kids were sent to his house and asked him to give them money. Just say, can you give me £10, please? And he was like, why? He then found out there was a man had paid these kids to go and ask him money so they can then film him on camera giving money to kids to get him sacked and to make him out to be something really, really awful.
God.
Because there was that much hate towards him. Because, in the 1989, 20 million people. Thank God they didn't have Twitter and everything back then. It would have erupted. So then there was not really much else until Brookside came about with the two lesbians, the kiss in 1994. Again, huge controversy around that as well, but not as much as the gay guys and EastEnders, because it was, I think it was quite well done. I mean, you can YouTube these scenes, they're all on YouTube, and they're really interesting. Nowadays, it happens all the time in soap operas, they have went with the time. But back then, we waited till 1989 for Gays and 1994 in Brookside, and there's not been that many since. There's some, and now you can watch EastEnders, and Brookside doesn't exist anymore. Hollyoaks, all these soap operas, I'm sure it's the same in America, there's lots of gay characters in it, and it's normalised. But that took probably within the last 10, 15 years to get a lot of gay characters.
I don't know how true this is, but apparently Hollyoaks is the sitcom with the most gay people in it.
Yeah,
it's a young oriented soap opera. Hollyoaks is known for tackling issues that affect young people, and one of the big issues that affect young people is coming to terms with their sexuality. Especially nowadays, when it's not just your sexuality, it's your gender identity, it's everything. They tackle that to educate and help young people, which is why they'll have a lot more gay characters and different kind of characters than you would find in your really old-fashioned, well, not old-fashioned, sorry, your old school, soap operas like Coronation Street and EastEnders, which have been around, for 40, 50, 60 years or whatever, because they've had audiences from the start. I know people in their 20s watch Coronation Street, but I know people in their 80s to watch Coronation Street. So they have to try and tick every box. Whereas Hollyoaks, you'll struggle to find anyone really above 40 who watches Hollyoaks. I'm sure lots of people still out there do, because they've watched it because they were younger when they started it. I used to watch it, I no longer watch it because I feel like I've outgrown Hollyoaks. But they're doing an amazing thing, because they tackle, well, if you remember Hollyoaks, people who don't know Hollyoaks, one of their first big gay storylines was not a good one at all. It was when one of their characters was sexually assaulted in the showers, and it was a gay rape storyline. Did that help the gay community? No, because we were not, personally, but back then I heard a lot about it, and then that was again for a young show. I remember when that scene happened, it wasn't allowed to be on their normal time slot. It had to be after 9 o'clock at night. It hit the papers. It was really well done. It was quite horrific to watch. It's on YouTube. But it was the feedback from other people. When you read back then, what was getting posted, well, you can't trust the gays, And then it made a lot of people scared to be in the bloody lockers in the football room or whatever, the showers, in case, then that's when the jokes of, don't drop the soap in the lockers and stuff, because, it didn't help us, my point was. And now we've getting to a point where a lot of the storylines are positive storylines, whereas in the 90s it was all about the big dramatics of coming out.
Yeah.
So one show I'm going to say that paved the way for the LGBTQ world was Queer as Folk. That was in 1999. Channel 4 in the UK made history by having an all-gay-centred drama. Would you call it a drama?
I came out in 98, so 99 when that came out was amazing.
It was, I remember I was, I would have been too young. I watched the American one before I knew about the UK one, because when the American one came out, I was a bit younger, maybe 13 or something. I remember late at night, I had a little TV in my room. I was putting it on really quiet, because I knew it was something that I was interested in. Did I know why? Not really, until I was a bit older. But I just loved it because I felt like I could associate with it. And I wanted to see that boy make out with that boy. I didn't want to see, a straight couple make out. And I just thought that's my kind of thing. And it was just a shame that it had to be, late on at night, with a dark and city thing. But that show, as much as it focused on sex and drugs, especially the American version, it still was groundbreaking and paved the way for other shows. And this is when I go back to this article, and it says, though mainstream television and movies continue to sanitize the portrayal of gay and lesbian life, Homosexuality and pay TV channels have begun to show more cutting-edge, controversial and critically acclaimed series about gays and lesbians. In 1999, for instance, Britain's Channel 4 made history when it broadcast Queer as Folk, a mini-series focusing on the lives and loves of 3 gay men living in Manchester. The series was highly regarded not only by the gay community but also by the mainstream press. The series was not without controversy. Some people complained that the subject matter was inappropriate, and others were upset that one of the characters was only 15 years old. While still others worried that its portrayal of gay men meant that they were oversexed. But despite these criticisms, the series enjoyed international success. It aired in the Canadian specialty channel Showcase and also inspired an American version. And the financial success of early television programs like Queer as Folk is important because it paved the way for investors to take a chance on queer programming. And then you've got other shows that have come about since then. You've never really got another show that's focused on gay characters. I mean, there was a small HBO one, I think it was HBO, that was Looking. Looking.
Oh, I love that one.
It's a brilliant show. It had Jonathan Groff in it. And it was really good, but it didn't have huge success and didn't get renewed for a third season. But the amount of gay characters that have now hit the mainstream TV, like what I've said here, the 2000s, like the noughties, provided us with many new shows that were mainly praised by the gay community. Shows such as Ugly Betty, Wentworth Prison, and of course Glee all showed different aspects of gay life, sex, and all the struggles. It wasn't just a negative thing.
On the British side, they had that, I think it was the BBC series. It was 3 different ones. It was Cucumber, something, and something. The third one was like a lesbian one on YouTube or something like that.
Yeah.
But I think it was Cucumber. That was like a gay one, and it was similar to Queer as Folk. I just remember the horrific scene that one of them got killed in a baseball bat or something like that. But anyway, but yeah, it was about all different ages and about different, races and everything like that, and yeah, bisexual.
Well, the BBC and Channel 4 in the UK, I'm sure American has their own networks that back a lot of these programs. I would say within the last 10 years, it's come along a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, things, even shows like Skins. Remember Skins?
Yes, I love Skins. Series 1 and 2.
But again, they had gay characters, openly gay characters in it, as if it was no big deal.
Yeah. But if you remember Skins, the original, like the proper OG, there was only one gay character, but if you rewatch it, he only had about one episode that was all about him and his gay life. The rest of it was all about straight people, and obviously he was still there because he was their friend. But thinking back, but I think Channel 4 in the UK is probably the pioneer for the LGBT community.
Oh, yeah.
They're the ones that push the boundaries the most.
Which is why you've now got more films coming out as well, because you've got the BBC and the Channel 4 network bringing out all these films that are focusing on, gays.
Yeah, I think Channel 4 is the one that's the top when it comes to LGBT support and things like that. I mean, if you think of even reality TV shows like Big Brother, gay characters from the get-go. Like, not characters, gay people, real gay people.
Yeah.
So I think, Channel 4 is my...
They've done a lot for the gay community in the UK anyway.
Definitely.
So is there anything else you want to add to that? I feel like this has just been a big educational episode.
I've learned a lot. I didn't know half this stuff, to be honest.
I remember doing this in university. I graduated from university in 2010, so we're now 10 years later. Again, we've progressed so much as well, and hopefully, in 10 years' time again, it could be even better. Hopefully we're not going to go back the way. But in 2010, I remember saying we've come a long way, but we've still got a long way to go. And it's still the same 10 years later, but we've had other, amazing shows on TV and movies that have really helped us. And I think people's lives have changed. Yes, because a lot of people know, someone in their family is gay. So a lot of people's, perceptions and acceptance has improved. But if they are then shown LGBTQ+ characters on their favourite shows, it really then helps with acceptance because it doesn't then become so abnormal when someone they know is gay.
Yeah, definitely agree with that.
So is there anything else you want to add to TV and film?
No, I've learned.
No, not that I can think of. I think we've like kind of covered most things.
Mm.
I think it would be nice, you know, to see, like you said, just to see, you know, like a gay action hero or something like that. Do you know what I mean? Like a gay lead character that isn't, not that there is any problem with being camp. I can be camp as much as the next person, but in a leading role, you know, and something like that. But will any TV or movie, Hollywood or wherever producers do it or not? Is there a niche? You know, Pig Pound and all that?
I don't think TV. I think TV obviously is doing a great job. I think it's the film industry that now needs to work harder.
Step up.
Yeah, the film industry needs to step up, and it needs to create some kind of movie that really shows the gay world. The gay character needs to be played by a gay guy, because I think they're probably the only ones that are going to play it properly.
Yeah.
And I think it goes.
Neil Patrick Harris.
It gives the authenticity. I think it gives the authenticity. And they tried it with, you know, you said the gay action hero or whatever. You've got, what is it called? What's his name? Ryan Reynolds. He plays
Deadpool.
Not Daredevil, the other one.
Is it Deadpool?
Deadpool.
Yeah.
So he isn't gay, but he isn't straight either. So he's like, or whether they class him as bisexual or just open. He's lots of comments throughout the movie about, you know, fancy guys, and they did it, and that was quite a step forward for those type of movies. But it would have just been better if he was just openly gay.
But again, that was like for the comedic value, wasn't it? It was for the slapstick, funny pun line.
Yeah.
And Ryan Reynolds was cute.
And he's got
Not with all that prosthetic makeup on, he wasn't.
So if there's nothing else to add, I'm going to do a little movie quiz, because it's one of my favourite things to do. I am going to get you boys to write down the 5 movies. This is not gay related, this is just movie related, okay? I'm going to play 5 songs from movies. You write them down, and then you tell me what you get at the end, okay?
Okay.
Are you ready?
Oh, it's like lockdown again.
I know, my lockdown music quiz. So, number 1. Here we go. Name the movie.
I can't hardly hear it. It keeps breaking up.
Can you hear it?
No, it's breaking up.
Oh, I know. I hope I have got it. Yeah. Oh.
There you go. That's all I'm giving you.
I can't get the words in my head.
I knew Lee would get it.
Lee messaged me.
That movie, there are maybe 2 other songs I could have used that were too easy. So I used that one. If it helps, it's the opening song to the movie.
Don't give too much away, Gareth. If he gets
I
it
can
wrong, he
see
gets
it.
it
I
wrong.
just can't see the name of the film. Carry on, because I'll get there.
Right, okay. Next one, number 2.
One of my favourite.
Me too. 10 more seconds, please. There you go. She's gay related. Are you ready for number 3?
Mm-hmm.
Gay icon here.
The French are glad to die for love. They delight in fighting duels. But I prefer a man who lives and gives expensive.
I know the name of the movie.
A kiss of the hand may be quite continental, but diamonds are a girl's best friend.
Just
I don't know
choose
the
one of
name
our
of the
movies
movie.
and hope for the best. We're then going to do number 4, which you might get immediately. It's not the right time of the year, but I'm doing it anyway. Here we go, number 4.
Literally the first little ding. I went to there and I saw the hotel. And everything.
Yeah.
No!
I stood on the spot and I was like, "Oh look, there's the hotel and there's where with the bird lady and everything." Sorry,
That was a really easy one.
That was an easy one.
Right, so the last one you might get really quickly or you might struggle. Number 5.
Got it.
Oh,
You got it? There we go. So, number 1 was Lee.
Pretty Woman.
Pretty Women.
I have the same thigh-high boots.
That's the opening scene of Pretty Women.
Okay.
Number 2, Rhys was
Free Willy.
Free Willy.
Oh, I put Little Mermaid.
Close.
Still a fish.
Number 3, Marilyn Monroe singing "Diamonds Are a Girl's Best Friend." What movie?
Gentlemen.
I put
Prefer
some like.
Blonde.
That's everyone guesses one of those 2. One of you are right. It's Lee. Gentlemen Prefer
I
Blonde.
knew it.
Yeah.
And then, of course, everyone got Home Alone.
Yay!
Home Alone.
And then number
Let me show
5
you. Let me show
was...
you. Let me show you.
Oh, you got it?
Up.
What has he got? Oh, you
So-
got it! Oh!
Right, this
Oh.
is our family tree, and we've all got one. My brothers have got one. My mum and dad have got one. So when I went to New York, I got 2 turtle doves. They're like ornaments. I gave my mum one for like a stocking for the gift, and she cried. And then what she did was she went, "Well, you have the other one," and I was like, so I keep it on the family tree. So
I
it's
love
turtle doves
that.
from New York.
That's really sweet.
It's so sweet. I want
That's our
one.
little family tree. So we've all got one. Mum and dad got one of them.
Oh, I love that. That's a true fan right there.
Sorry, there you go. I'm back.
Sorry, Rhys was just saying that number 5 is
Up.
Up.
Oh no!
What did
I
you?
had Sleeping Beauty.
Because they're similar. So,
Still
Rhys, how many
Disney.
did you get out of 5?
3.
3.
Oh, it's a tie.
Oh.
Right.
The tie.
Tiebreaker.
Arm wrestle.
Here we go. Here we go.
I got the 10. Wait.
Tiebreaker. Are you ready?
Yeah.
These are both not going to get are you?
Is it?
Big.
or Rhys?
The pianist.
You were so close, Lee. It's also Tom Hanks. It's Forrest Gump.
I hate that film.
Right, okay. What else? One more.
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
No.
Sounds like the Lloyd's Bank advert or something.
No,
No, I
any
don't know.
guesses?
No.
That was Gladiator.
Oh.
Okay.
I wasn't listening to the music there, I was watching the men.
Here's another one for you.
Anastasia.
Yeah!
Yeah!
That was quick.
One of my favourites.
So, Rhys won.
What did I win? Joking.
A free upgrade to first class.
Yeah! You win a
Easy
mug.
guess.
Yeah, there you go. Another mug. We can do round 2 next week, even with like TV
You get
shows.
to sit on the pilot's lap.
Oh, that was fun. I enjoyed that.
Oh, I need to go and watch Anastasia now.
Oh, so did you know when I first did that song was a part of a Disney round, and there was a big controversy around it because they were like, it's not Disney, it was actually Fox. And I was like, I think you'll find in 2000 and such, Fox merged with Disney, and they had a little inauguration or whatever it was called, and they christened Anastasia as a Disney princess. And they were like, really? And I was like, just stick that in your pipe and smoke it.
Never
But
fuck
originally
came out
it
on
was-
Disney movies.
It was Fox. It was not originally a Disney movie. Yes, correct.
So is it a cartoon movie?
Yes, it's an animation. Yeah.
You've never seen it.
Reese shush.
I mean, there are
Oh my
more
God,
movies
I
that I
feel-
would say you had to see, more than Anastasia.
I feel a movie night coming on. Lee, I feel a movie night coming on.
Well, I'll pick a
You'd
movie
like
that you
it.
should have seen. Anastasia for Lee. Lee can pick one that we've not seen. So I think that's it for this episode. It's been very movie oriented and it's been very educational, hopefully. We are in a place where LGBTQ and everything is being represented better within TV. We just think there's a wee bit more to go in movies, and not just your little Netflix and Prime movies. We're talking about big blockbuster hits. They need to step up. But they have come a long way from the 1930s, shall I say. But there's still a long way to go.
Yeah.
So that's it for this episode. Thank you, as always, for watching. Please, we love to hear from you. We cannot stress this enough. Send us a comment below on the YouTube page, on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram at Real Life Gaze. And please send us an email, reallifegaze@yahoo.com. We don't receive enough emails. We get a lot of comments, we get a lot of love. But please, if you've got any questions or you've got any ideas, because we love ideas for episodes, please get in touch. Or if you've got a story you'd like to share, obviously we've had a lot of guests on the show, please get in touch and you can be starring in one of our shows. So before we go, I just want to say that I am wearing a t-shirt called Harsey. This is a brand that's close to my heart. It is from my beautiful friends Chris and Richard. Chris has 2 beautiful, adorable children called Harrison and Darcy. So they've created this brand called Harsey Clothing. And of course, because I'm one of their good friends, we're all modeling these beautiful t-shirts and stylish t-shirts. They are available to purchase now, and I will post the link to their Instagram and their website and all the details you need below on our YouTube page. So if you are interested in supporting a little family-run company, please do. They're good quality. I like that they're simple, they're stylish, they've got the 3 designs. So please get on it and support them. I love them all so much, and hopefully get behind them. No.
I love that idea with the name and everything.
Great.
Yeah. Because
Very
it's
nice.
personal, you know. It's not like when you see a lot of these other brands that you're like, I don't know what that means. So this has got a nice story behind it. Harrison and Darcy, and it's got a nice ring to it. It's simple. They're all black with white, and they're just quite stylish in their colours. And they're
That's
affordable.
really, really great.
Love it.
There you go.
Like,
So get on it.
Get on it.
do it.
So we are going to leave you with another lip sync as always, and we have chosen one of the gayest TV shows out there, Glee. Love Glee, and it's Maybe This Time. So we will leave you with Maybe This Time from Glee. So thank you very much as always, everyone. Thank you, Rhys. Thank you, Lee.
Thank you,
See
guys.
you next week.
Big loves.
Bye.
Bye.
There we go. Yay, we did it. Bye.
Maybe this time I'll be lucky. Maybe this time he'll stay. Maybe this time, for the first time, love won't hurry away. He will hold me fast. I'll be home at last. Not a loser anymore like the last time and the time before. Everybody loves a winner, so nobody loved me. Lady peaceful, lady happy, that's what I